Before we start the show, I wanted to remind you guys that if you were interested in launching your podcast or rebranding your current podcast, this is your chance. Idea to Launch Academy is still active as a self-paced course, but guess what? It is back as an intensive course. That's right. You get to work with my coach who helped me get here with Idea to Launch Academy, Carla Ramirez. So go to my show description and click on my affiliate code and get started. This is your chance. This is the moment to do it. Within 30 days, you can have your podcast launched, ready, and going, and everybody could be tuning in to listen to you just like you are listening to me. So go ahead, affiliate code in my show description, Idea to Launch Academy. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Double Dose of Raw Talk Podcast. I am your host, Miss D, and as you know, here on the show, we get pretty comfortable being uncomfortable. We talk about all the rawness and all the raw mess. Joined every week with some pretty dope friends and guests, we unleash all there is to know on surviving adulthood, and we discuss different topics related to cultures, controversies, sometimes a little bit about love, sometimes even sex, and we definitely oftentimes discuss relationships and relationships. Join me. We have juicy conversations, friendly debates, and sometimes intriguing discussions. So thank you for joining us on another episode, and I hope you enjoy the show. And we're recording. I'm fixing up my vocal cords here. All right. Welcome back, everyone, to another week and another episode on Double Dose of Raw Talk Podcast. I am your host, Miss D, and I am excited for this episode. I was about to say sex-cited, but that would not sound entirely great. So I'm going to keep it at excited because I have a guest here who, for one, saved my life during the pandemic. Okay, I'm not even gonna lie, we're gonna get into that one. But I've just been trying to record with this amazing, beautiful woman for such a long time. And, you know, we're busy women and we're working and we're grinding and we're hustling. So it's not always possible, but we're here today. I bring to you guys someone that I mentioned, a business that I mentioned early on in the show. I think actually it was episode 10 during my Solita episode, because I had to talk about the things I've been doing to myself and by myself and with my toys. But I gave a little shout out to Erotic Boudoir. Am I saying it right? Did I say it correctly? All
Yes, yes.
right. And I have Nick here with me.
Hi, Daisy. Thank you so much for having me. Yes, it's been crazy trying to coordinate schedules and everything,
Yeah.
but thank you, thank you, thank you.
No, I'm so excited to have you here with me. So let me dive right into, before I hit the icebreaker, because I gotta fix my vocal cords for that one. I'm going to just recap a little bit to my all my loyal listeners, but if you're tuning in for the first time here, you're gonna know what's up, right? So some episodes ago, I shared with all of you that I got tired of my buddy Blue. Blue is my very loyal, committed, and faithful teal blue toy vibrator that I use. And I got a little tired of him because, you know, we're in the middle of a pandemic and, you know, it's just quarantine life was just getting a little tough. And I needed something new. I needed something spicier. You know, you just needed something else. I needed it. And so a friend of mine, shout out to Free, she was like, "Oh, go check out this page and go check out this toy." And I said, "All right, so let me take a look."
Mhm.
And I go on the site and it says it's sold out. And I'm like, "Oh, hell, what am I going to do now?" So Free's like, "Nah, hit her up. They have. And you say, it was like in a matter of days, you just packed it up for me. The Satisfier,
Mhm.
who I have named Rosie, you packed her up for me. You sent her to me, and her and I have her and Blue get along, and they get along. Nobody's jealous. Everybody knows their role, their position when we are together, and it's been life saving. I am beyond still to this day surprised at how she gets me every time under 60 seconds. And And for those
Yes.
who don't know, the Satisfier, I mean, I will probably share the picture of not my Satisfier, not my Rosie, but like of one of Nick's posts with the Satisfier, so you guys could get you one. And if you're a man listening to this, you should get your girl one, and you should use it with her and on her. That's what you should do.
Hmm.
But you saved my life. You saved it at the moment that I needed it the most. I praised you so much for one, for the customer service, because I'm all about the customer service. But
Thank you.
also, you are just someone who is very true to your merchandise, your products, your business, and that is something that
Absolutely.
I love so much. In just looking at your page and getting to know you, so I wanted to just remind my listeners about that little story and how I came to know of you and your business. And I wanted to also just thank you for coming on this show, because there's a huge purpose to this. And for one, it is because of your very beautiful and amazing business, but two, because there is a lot of power that holds in what you're doing. And I don't think a lot
Yes.
of people realize that. And the ones who realize it, I don't know if they accept it so much. And I
Hmm.
appreciate you coming to Double Dose of Raw Talk to keep it very raw with me. And
Oh,
so
yes.
we are going to dive right in, Nick. Do you want to tell them briefly where exactly you are right now located? I mean, not your address. I mean, like, the general city.
Sure. I mean, I can give my address too if someone needs some private sessions or something.
Damn.
We're Erotic Boudoir. You did say the name right. A lot of people often say boudoir. It's boudoir.
Mm-hmm.
We're located in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and the business is owned by myself and my mother, AJ.
Mm,
So yeah, we're in Philly. Social media is all the same at erotic_boudoir. Daisy will have everything
everything.
linked in
My sh- my show
linked in there
my
so
show
you'll see it.
description will have all of it. You best believe that. Yes, I will. And yes, she said her mom. I hope that someday my mom and I can get there. I am not sure if she'll ever quite understand me, but I hope she will one day, because this is
Mm,
exactly why I love this business. This is exactly why I have gotten to know Nick and have grown so much love for what their purpose is. So, thank you for that additional introduction of who you are and what you are about. We're going to dive into the icebreaker. So, a couple of episodes ago, okay, I decided to exercise my one semester in choir in high school, and I decided to exercise my vocal cords and my singing skills, of which I don't really have any, but I swear I could sing in the shower. So I said, why not bring it to the show, right? So I
right.
had an episode with one of my guests, Big Sis Energy, who's vibing right now, and we highlighted, just so many powerful women with a voice, because the concept of that episode was about powerful women with voices. And we were highlighting the violence against Black women, Black trans women. And of course, we dived even deeper into that. So, because we're gonna hit off on the powerful sense of women and everything that comes with that today, again on a different dose, I want to open the icebreaker with some lyrics again. But
Okay.
this time, okay, so I'm gonna sing it, but I came from a trip, and my throat is a little, it's not because of COVID, it's because of the salt water. So I'm gonna try my best to sing to you, Nick, as best that I can. But these
Okay.
songs that I'm gonna sing, I think I'm gonna stick to three. Okay. I do not have the volume up. I'm gonna read off the lyrics, but I'm gonna sing them a little bit. And I'm gonna need you to guess what songs these are. Now, if
Okay.
anybody knows Ms. D, Daisy here, your host, and anybody knows this show and the concept of what Nick's business is and what kind of songs I'm gonna sing, y'all know these are sexual songs. So bear with me, guys, and I hope I don't turn anyone on. And if I do and you're a man, you can slide in my DMs. That's what you could do. Okay. So here we go. All right. The first song. Okay, ready? Okay. She's listening. She's giving me that side eye. She's listening. Okay.
Uh-huh.
All right. Here we are, all alone, you and me, privacy, and we can do anything, your fantasy. I want to make your dreams come true.
That last part got me a little bit. I'm like, wait a minute, wait a
Mm.
minute, wait a minute.
All right, I could go. I could keep going. There's a little more. Maybe it could give you. Okay.
Okay.
If you need a clue, I'll give you a clue. Okay. Can you hear? She's calling me between your legs, loud and clear. I wanna talk back to her, make love to her. I,
Oh,
yeah.
112.
She said, "Oh, 112."
It's the melody threw me off.
Because I told you I'm full of salt water. It's a little difficult for me today, but I'm trying. I want to give it a little singing touch, but I'm trying. Yes, that is 112, guys. It is anywhere. Nick guessed it. And in the spirit of what her business is, guys, just know you can do plenty of things anywhere at any time. And you can do anything to women like myself and maybe Nick.
Anywhere, anytime. If you need something waterproof, let me know.
Yes.
There are waterproof toys that you can put in bathtubs and showers. There are suction cup bases where you can be hands free. Anytime, anywhere. Absolutely. Perfect song.
Perfect song. I know. You see, Nick vibes with me. Nick understands me. This is exactly what I'm talking about. All right. So the next song. Okay. This one might be a little easier, but we're gonna do it, okay. Okay. Whew, let me take a sip. This is stressful.
I'm gonna take one too.
Take a drink. Yeah, just because. We're getting dry mouth here from these lyrics. Jesus. Okay. All right. This one actually might be easy. Yeah, it might be easy. All right. So here we go. And yes, I sing men's songs too. Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just a bachelor looking for a partner. You know I had to throw that one in there.
That's Pony. That's my shit.
Yes, mine too. Oh my God, mine too. I was actually in a R&B battle, R&B, and you knew I had to come out with that song. And it was all through the pandemic. Why did I do that to myself? This is why I ordered the Satisfier. I had nobody to straddle. I had nobody to jump on and to do all the pony shit I wanted to that night. So I had to order the Satisfier, and Blue and Rosie had to tag team me. Yeah, all in one night. That's what happened. Yes, that was Genuine Pony classic. All right, so I'm gonna hit you with the third one.
Okay.
It's a rather new one. It's a woman. Okay. Let's see if you could guess them. Okay, here we go. All right. Oof. I know you love fucking me. I can tell by the way you're in love with me.
That's Jenny Aiko, Pussy Fairy.
Woo! Nick! Yo, I swear Nick is my soul sister right now. Let me tell you why. Because I could sing that song in front of people and they're like, who is that? And it's not even because it's her. It's because a lot of people won't just fucking sing the damn lyrics.
Yes.
I appreciate Nick. Nick got it right. That is exactly who it is. Pussy Fairy. I was not going to start rapping to WAP because I already did that in a whole other episode by itself. I reviewed the lyrics. It's my new anthem. So yeah, I was gonna do that. But thank you, Nick, for breaking this ice with me and guessing these songs. Woo! And it sets the tone to what we're gonna talk about today. And it's very important in my eyes and in my view because I feel that again, not a lot of people feel comfortable with this, with having this conversation. I'm a woman who's gonna be 35 years old. I am currently a single woman, but even when I haven't been single, toys have never just been thrown to the side and neglected. I've been fortunate enough to have partners who have been okay with using toys and all this other good shit, chains, claws, whatever. And I've talked about this in recent episodes a little bit more in detail of how amazing that feels to me, right?
Yes.
But I happen to know of women who don't feel like they have that freedom and that liberty to be okay with using that or even bringing it into their bedroom with their spouses. So I wanted to bring this to the show and really dive into it because listen, we're women, our bodies are talking to us, and even men too. Some men don't feel comfortable saying that they want to bring this when their spouses don't, favor it either. So we're
Mhm.
gonna dive into my segment of the show is called As Raw as It Gets. And in this segment, I cover sometimes news, controversies, culture shit, social media, sex, love, relationships, and relationships. A quick disclaimer: no statements, questions, topics are off limits from the guest of the host or vice versa.
Mhm.
So if you have any questions, you
Mhm.
can shoot them right on. I'm a real honest raw talker and I will give it to you as it is. Okay, and this one we're gonna call playtime. So I already mentioned the Rosie story. I needed some playtime with a new toy. Nick saved my life. And it was an exceptional service. Y'all already heard on episode 10, which is fantastic. And ever since then, Rosie and my clit have been in love, and my clit has not been the same. And I need to put that shit out there. I really do. It's very important for people to understand where the focus is with Rosie. She's
Yes.
essential. She's definitely an essential show, an essential toy that you should add. All of you who are listening should add to your
Mhm.
collection. If you don't have a collection,
Mhm.
she would be great for you to start with her. Okay, so
Yes.
let me just add to it. If I could recommend to any business, it would be Nick's, and that's exactly who's going to get tagged on the bottom of the show description because
Thank
you will get
you.
it in no time with the quickness, and she has more choices, which I have to shop. So I
Mhm.
wanted to dive into this with you and first begin to shine some light on your business and how long, I know you mentioned you and your mom have this business. This is what you guys do, but how long has this been? How long have you guys been in business? How have you seen your company grow, from when you started to where you are today, and even with the pandemic? Like, where are we with that?
Erotic Boudoir has been in business now for 4 years. Originally, my mom started the business and it was just her alone, but she is an older woman. She wasn't really social media savvy. Doesn't necessarily have a whole lot of friends. So she asked me to help her maybe about after a year and a half because she really wasn't seeing any sort of turnaround for the sales and things like that. And then that's when I joined. And then, it's been taken off ever since. So with the pandemic that's here, it's been heaven sent for Erotic Boudoir, to be honest with you.
Yes.
You know, people are home, they have nothing else better to do but eat, sleep, and fuck.
Mm,
Um, so
amen.
what else to add to that is toys, and being black owned, being woman owned,
Yes.
and having uh, the unique ownership of mother daughter has people saying like, you're not uncomfortable with your mom, you're not like, you're okay talking to your mom about these things, you're okay talking in front of your mother about these things. And I'm like, yeah, isn't in my head, isn't everybody,
Mm-hmm.
so it's more odd to me to hear that when women can't really express uh their sexual desires, or just want to talk about sex as a whole with
Right.
their mom. It's odd to me, but not to so many other people, so.
Right. No, you're right. So I've actually shared this with my listeners in the past, specifically on IG Lives. I've always said that the sex conversations were always very normal in my home, thanks to my father. My father let it be known, this is how you guys were born.
Wow.
Like, there's no stork that comes to, no, no. That's my wife. This is what we do, and that's it.
Right.
And when I lock the door, and it's my privacy with your mom. And I appreciated that from my father because it taught me that in raising my kid, I always wanted to speak the truth to my kid. And I always wanted to be very,
Mhm.
like, I feel that even from young, if anybody's going to give sex education to my children, it should be me. I don't want it to
Right.
be with the friends, and I don't want it to be from the wrong places. And I think that's really where it begins and where the comfort should begin to have certain
Right.
conversations. And I
Absolutely.
always, my mom was always the more like, reserved, like, oh my god, like, let's, like, and now, I mean, if I could open up a store with her, great. I doubt she would ever want to do that with me, but now she feels more comfortable.
Mhm.
I'm a grown woman.
Mhm.
She talks to me and my sister a lot about these things. Don't understand why we aren't
Mhm.
having more of these conversations and letting it be normal, because a woman should be able to be comfortable with her sexuality without being scrutinized with it.
Right.
What
Yeah.
is it that and ignited it for you, and for your mom, and the passion about the work that you guys do? What is it that keeps you guys in that passion?
Well, to go back to my upbringing, she always encouraged me to be happy with whatever I'm doing and be passionate about whatever it is that I do. So when she decided to open the business and everything, I'm trying to help her. For me, I can say that I love sex,
Mm-hmm.
I love having orgasms, and I love making people orgasm.
Right.
You know, and I say people because I'm very fluid with my sexuality.
Right.
I am a pleaser by nature, so helping other people get that pleasure is like the best feeling to me. Like it gets me all warm and fuzzy on the
Mm.
inside,
Yes.
especially when I can introduce a toy or a technique or just some scripts per se to say things to their partner or their mate or whatever, to help them just get more pleasure and be satisfied. Like it's a euphoric feeling for me.
Mm-hmm.
And my mother is the same way. She's a pleaser by nature. She's a mother,
Mm-hmm.
first off, so she has that nurturing. A lot of women don't have that nurture uh, intuition in them. She's one that does. I don't have any children. I had a dog. Unfortunately, that was my baby. But
Mm.
um, she's been the same way. She's a very giving person. She's a very loving person. She'll do anything for anybody. So it's kind of was a win-win for me. Like
Yeah.
I love sex,
Yeah.
so why not?
Yeah, no, and it is. And you are giving back. You're really helping people to feel a certain level of comfortable with themselves. I can't
Hmm.
I wasn't always like this. I just have I always say I think I'm lucky that I learned how to be like this. I was married very young. I am divorced, but I was married very young. And I'm very lucky to have been able to have that type of open mindedness from the young age of when I was married till today. And so that has helped
Hmm.
me always be able to say, oh, this is what I, and to deter and to define what it is that I like and to keep it going that
Hmm.
way. And I'm trying, because I am the motherly pleaser, I noticed that there was a moment in time where I was sort of kind of settling to something that was
Hmm.
not really like something I
Hmm.
normally wouldn't. And I
Hmm.
noticed that. So I realized that even with myself, like, no, fuck this, Daisy. Like you can't
Hmm.
just settle. Like it's one thing to want to be a please, it's another to just settle and, sacrifice what your needs are, you know, even if it
Yes.
means an orgasm. So
Yes.
never again.
Yes.
Needless to say,
Yes.
never again. All right.
Yes.
What is your, not what is, who is your dominant gender clientele? It
Women.
is the women. Okay. Okay.
Women. Yeah. Yeah. I have women that purchase male sex toys,
That was going to be my next question.
women that um, we're allies with LGBTQ.
Okay.
So I have women that purchase, the
Mm-hmm.
strap-ons. I have women that purchase the massage oils, women that purchase the lube, women that purchase, it's definitely the women. I'm luckily I have a male sex toy reviewer that has brought a huge awareness to male sex toys.
Nice.
So, with his help, I'm slowly but surely getting in on the
Mm-hmm.
guys. Like, fellas, y'all know there's some toys out here for you too.
Right. Right.
So, but it seems like the more I show the male toys, the more women buy them.
Ah, okay, okay, okay.
So,
That makes sense though. It does. So that
mm-hmm.
question is important to me because I always hear that as an answer. It's always the women, right? And for many
Mm-hmm.
different reasons, for many different toys, which is fantastic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I could open up my top drawer, the biggest one, and I have in there like lingeries, costumes, toys, oils, like everything
Mm-hmm.
is all like up there. I have no shame. I just didn't, I had just recorded an episode with my best friend while we waited to see if Jamaica would allow us to travel to Jamaica. And
Mm-hmm.
she almost spilled the beans on the episode on me about where I hold all my goodies. And I was like, good bitch, you was about to share all my information. But I wanted
Mm-hmm.
to disclose that here because I do have a full fucking drawer of it. And it's pasties, it's the sex cards. It's like there's just so much you can
Mm-hmm.
do with a partner or partners, okay?
Yes.
And
Yes.
you just could have so much fun. I cannot, this is like, I love that you have this platform to be able to tell
Yes.
people. hey, I have choices here for you to whatever makes you feel comfortable, to whatever
Yes.
matches your desires, and it checks that off for you. Like, here it is. I always have this secret hope inside of me that one day I'm gonna hear someone say, "Oh, it's the men," and that'll just make me so happy that men are actually feeling comfortable, you know, to really open up their minds. And I think after I go through my questions, I'm gonna share the story with you. I've never quite shared the full story, but I'm gonna share the story with you, and the
Okay.
listeners. But I'm gonna continue with the conversation as to why I think it's important for men to be honest with themselves. Okay.
Yes.
Do you, Nick,
Yeah.
try the products with yourself, on yourself, with others? What if so, what is your favorite? And do you have a top seller?
Yes, yes, and yes.
Yes, 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 Nick.
With erotic boudoir, we find that it's very, very, very important to us to be able to speak from experience. It's something to be said about looking at a toy, going to expos, experiencing the toys on your hands, your fingers, the tip of your nose, things like that, but not actually experiencing them on your body. It's difficult to explain the stimulation that you get from it. So half of the toys I try, about 40% of the toys my mom tries,
Mm-hmm.
and then about the other 10% is family and friends. If we say, there's this toy that's out, try this. Here, try this sample. I got this sample. Do this, try this.
Mm-hmm.
So my friends, they love me. My family, my family, they love me because
Yes.
they get to try all of these different toys out and everything. I do try toys out on my partners.
Okay.
So they have the extreme pleasure of being able to experience, these toys, the strokers, the clit stimulators, all of those
They
different
so
things.
lucky.
They
I had
are.
to say
They
that. They
are.
so
'Cause-
lucky.
so you say how you have a drawer full of toys. I have a suitcase full
Yes.
of toys that, I travel with when I'm traveling,
Okay.
because you just never, I always want to be prepared for any situation. Um, the my favorite toy, I have two.
Okay.
One, of course, is the Satisfier.
Oh, Rosie.
Love the Satisfier,
I love
yes.
her too.
And the funny thing about the Satisfier is when I heard about it, it had been out for a while, and I saw it, and I never really paid it much attention.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see many reviews. And then we hosted a private pleasure party, and a girl asked for it.
Okay.
And I'm like, no, unfortunately, we don't have it. She said, you should get it. You should get it. She's just ranting and raving about it. I said, all right, let me see what this thing is hitting for, right?
Right.
So I order like a case, and I take it and I try it, and I was like, what the fuck, right?
Yeah, that was my same. Nick, you just made the exact same face I made. I was looking at myself that first time, and then I looked at the Satisfier, and then I put it up close to my face. I was like,
Right,
I was like, I was
right,
trying to see where is it that this Satisfier does
right,
all that it did. Like,
right. So I put, they say when you use it, put a little bit of lube on your clitoris
mhm,
just to, so that it'll suck it real good,
right.
right? So I have it on, and I'm like maybe a minute in, and my body is feeling like extra warm. My head, my face is feeling like extra hot. I'm like, I can't be about to come this fast. Like, I just can't. This cannot be real.
Mm-hmm.
And then boom, it happens, right? So I said, okay, all right. Now that I know what to expect, I'm gonna lay off for 3 days. I'm not gonna do anything for
Mm-hmm.
3 days, and I'm gonna go back to it.
Mm-hmm.
I go back to it, it happens again.
Oh my god.
And I'm like, what the fuck? Right? So I call one of my close girlfriends. I give her one. I said, you have to try this toy.
Mm-hmm.
You have to, because it can't just be me. And so she calls me super pussy, okay? Because
Oh my god, stop. Oh my god. I have a story for that one too, but continue.
she calls me super pussy because I tell her how I'm difficult. I'm a lot. I'm a lot in the bedroom. It takes a lot. Anybody that I'm dealing with, I say, just to let you know, we're gonna be here for a while. So get your Gatorade, get your water, put it on the nightstand, whatever. You need to have a sandwich on the nightstand, something, because we gonna be here for a minute, okay? So she calls me super pussy. So she's like, wait, so super pussy say this toy is like that? I need to try it.
Mm-hmm.
So she takes it, she tries it, calls me the next morning like, bitch. What the fuck? I'm telling everybody about it. And she told a shit ton of people about it. So I was like, all right, bet. So that's my favorite one. But my second favorite one is the OVO E6. It's a rabbit vibrator. And I'll shoot you a picture too once we wrap everything up. But it's the OVO E6. It's a rabbit vibrator, but it's so smooth. And the shaft of the vibrator has like a really nice curve to hit the G spot. Oof. And then the rabbit ears are really, really soft and flexible. So it's not like some of the other toys where the rabbit ears kind of are hard and jam into your clitoris. Right. It's like super soft. And it has two motors. So there's one motor in the rabbit itself, and then there's another motor in the body of the vibrator. So that's one of my favorites too. And it's a nice length. So like you're able to go deep and still have the clitoral stimulation.
Okay, so see that I'm gonna need a picture, and I'm most likely gonna buy that because you just convinced me. I'm gonna need a picture of that, and I'm gonna need to buy it because you have me at the length. I am one of those that likes to. I penetrate myself. I do. So I like that. Yes, and when it's too just long, sometimes it doesn't function. Like I have the glass dildo. I don't know if you've ever seen that one. I won it at a passion party. It was a prize that I won, and I love how it feels, especially when it comes out. I put it in the freezer a little bit, and
yes,
I love how it feels. But sometimes it's just too long when I be trying to go in on myself, and so I'm like, oh, fuck. So I'm gonna want a picture of that. The super pussy ex of mine, and just in regular conversation that they had, and they sent me screenshots of this conversation. He tried to say one day, and this was just the first time I heard about it. He said that Jesus Christ, I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm not even gonna acknowledge his name. He was a shit, but something along the lines of he once cried for Daisy's pussy because Daisy has super pussy. And I was like, well, I mean, okay. So I used to hashtag
period.
Yes. So I used to hashtag SPSP, super pussy. And that's where I came up with the name for my pussy. That's when I named her Sin. That's exactly what Sin, as in original sin. That one. Yeah. Okay. Yes, because he talked about my shit like with several people talking about it was super pussy. So I was like, okay, I'll take that. To add to the satisfier's abilities with the clitoris, right? With the clit. The first time I did put a little bit of lube. And so I didn't think I would need lube, but I had heard that you should put a little bit of it. So I did. When my moment happened, first of all, I was talking shit, right? I was like, I don't need to start off at the first level, right? Because
shit.
I was like, I'm a G, right? I ain't gonna come this fast. No way. Like the satisfier can get me. Not like my exes did. Not like them, because obviously if I fucked with you for a long time, it's because you was doing the fucking job and you was doing your thing on this pussy. So okay, cool. But I think I went to like the 4th level, Nick. And I started there. I think it was the 4th level.
Woo.
I'm not joking. When I said I was gone in 60 seconds, but it was definitely less than 60 seconds. I ended up in fetal position. My face was in the pillow because I was trying to not scream. Like,
yes,
it was fucking amazing. And I looked at the satisfier. I looked at Rosie and I looked at myself and I said, what the fuck just happened? That none of that shit had ever happened to me, ever. But Rose, that first time when Rosie was crazy. And then I decided to use Blue and Rosie. So Blue is like waterproof vibrator, and it has like this little flower light. So like it lights up. It's real cute. Blue is real cute. So I said, oh, well, fuck this. I'm going to leave Blue inside. And then I'm going to put Rosie right on my clit. Why'd I do that to myself? I cried. I cried. I made myself cry. Yes. I made myself cry. but it was fucking amazing. I came hard, and I fucking needed to come that hard. So to go back to what you said about, you know, you don't vouch for items and products that you don't try first, right? And you are
True.
one of those people who could say, "Nah, this one is really good because I did try it." It just,
Hmm.
for me, it's like I also wouldn't say this one does the job unless I personally have that experience with it. I did not ever have passion parties as the person who's doing it, but I would host parties and have someone come with toys.
Hmm.
And it was in that experience that I realized that not everyone felt as comfortable as I did with the concept and the importance of toys or even other
Hmm.
accessories, right?
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
be it if it's a butt plug, for example,
Right.
which I saw the ones you just posted and they're very bedazzled and beautiful. Now I need one of those too. Um,
They're very
they're
pretty.
very pretty. They're so pretty. With the butt plugs, a lot of people are like, "Oh my god, like no, why would I want that in my ass?" Like you could do so
Hmm.
much with.
Yeah, like a little surprise. If can you imagine you're with your partner, let's say he's a man, right?
Mm-hmm.
A woman with a man. So you have a small pink jeweled butt plug. He doesn't know. And when he goes to have sex with you and penetrates you doggy style and you bend over and he sees this little jewel, you don't think that that's going to turn things up a notch
It,
for him? Like, oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Nick, let me say this right now. If a certain someone would grant me consent to share videos so, so we can hear the commentary
Mm-hmm.
of when
Mm-hmm.
butt plugs were brought into the bed, I would share it so people can see the difference one butt plug can make. Okay, because
Yes.
it does. You're so right. You're so right, and that's the thing. I think it's so important too, like to know your partner's limits, but to know how open mindedness they are, and then you have to know how much are you willing to negotiate. I'm not gonna say compromise. I'm gonna say negotiate. I'm gonna call it a
Yeah.
negotiation here because for
Yeah.
me, I don't know if I would ever again compromise or sacrifice what my desires are and what my needs are for when it comes to my sexuality. So,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm with you on it. How nice can it be to just bring a little surprise into the bedroom, or at least let's say three, and then you let your partner decide. Well, which one do you want? Like
Mm-hmm.
we could try and play here. That's what the whole purpose of playtime is. I was
Yes.
once told by someone. We had talked, and obviously we had fucked, and we had talked, and I was told that their first time using a toy was with me, and they used it
Oh,
on me.
wow.
Right? They did use it on me. I didn't know that was their first time. I didn't know I was the woman who introduced this to this person. And I was like, "Oh, really? Really? Like with me? Really? Like I remember when we did that." And that was some years ago, but I didn't know I was the first one who introduced. And then the person said, "Yeah, I told some of my boys about it. I told them like they falling asleep. Like they need to get with it with the using of." I was like, "Wait," I'm like, "They know I did that." They're like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah, they know." And I was like, for a second, I
Oh.
was like embarrassed, but then I said, "No, you know what? I'm not embarrassed because I feel like
Mm-hmm.
men should feel a little bit more comfortable too talking about
Mm-hmm.
it and saying, yo,
Mm-hmm.
I did this with Shorty. Why don't you do that with
Mm-hmm.
your Shorty? Why don't you try this? Why don't you try that? Like, put a little toy in it. Like, I did it for a second. I kind of was like, ugh. But then I was like, no, wait a second. It's all good. Men should be
Mm-hmm.
having these conversations and feeling a little bit more open minded. You know, we're growing. We're constantly changing. Our hormones, oh my god, it's disgusting. I am horny as
Yes.
fuck all day every day. Honestly, but
Yes.
then again, I've been like that like for years, like since I'm like 25. Maybe since I had my child, I've been like that, and I had him when I was like 22. But it is crazy how much our bodies are constantly changing day in and day out. And as we
Mm-hmm.
continue to flourish into the older years, and when you do have, especially for people in relationships like marriages or domestic partnerships, however, they decide to call it, when you are living with a person, when you are there every single day and you have that
Mm-hmm.
openness to be able to fuck at any given time and have sex and make love and do all these other things, cool.
Mm-hmm.
But you're going to need to spice it up a little bit. So I like to hear now when men are having these conversations. I say that to say there was a passion party that I had here in my house, and it was for my sister's birthday. And I think I mentioned this before in a previous episode. And one of the things that really did get to me, it was the fact that some of my girlfriends, and I love them to pieces, they were a little hesitant to buying a toy or to looking at toys. And the reason being was because, their spouses were not with it. And
Mm,
I find it that oftentimes we still encounter in some relationships, there's this macho thought like, all you need is me type of shit.
right.
You don't
Right.
need a toy. And I don't know if a lot of people get that it's not a replacement. I'm not trying to replace you. I'm not trying to substitute you. I'm trying
Right.
to add it to us. I'm trying to just have a
Right.
little bit of fun, and the more we add, the more we could exchange. The more we could, nah, this one was fun. Next, it's for the fun of it. I still want you inside me, but
Right.
this is just for a little bit of fun, and I don't know if we have reached that point to have that openness for people. I'm in my 30s, for men in my 30s, for men in the 30s, or in a
Hmm.
relationship or not in a relationship or in situationships or whatever the fuck you want to call it. I don't know if everyone is still that open-minded. So that brings me to my next,
Not quite.
and it's not, so that brings me to my next question for you. Have you ever encountered any unique scenarios in the store? Like if you've ever had couples come in or different types of relationships, like have you ever encountered any uniqueness? Or say somebody comes in for the first time and this is how they want to introduce their partner to toys. Like have you ever encountered that at
Hmm.
all?
Oh yeah, all of the above. I have couples coming all the time. I have younger couples coming in, and I do face the "I'm all you need" situation more times than not.
Hmm.
And I try to explain to those gentlemen that, like you just said, these toys are not a replacement. This is an enhancement. This is pretty much the icing on the cake. Like you're everything that I need, but let's have some additional fun in the bedroom. You know, that's one challenge. Another challenge is just letting people know, letting women know specifically that masturbating is not wrong. You're not bad for masturbating. You have to learn your body, learn your likes, learn what turns you on, what gets you there before you can go into the bedroom with someone else and expect them to make you orgasm. How can you realistically think that someone will be able to make you orgasm if you don't know how to make you orgasm?
Mm-hmm.
You can't verbalize to them what gets you there. So it's okay. Like, and I've talked to my nieces and nephews at very young ages and explained that to them. Like, touching your body is not a bad thing. Be discreet about it. Be at home. Don't let the streets tell you what you should be liking. Learn your own body. Learn your own physical first, and then you can help your partner please you. Help me help you mentality. You know what I mean? And then also couples will come in and say, we want to spice things up. We have toys already, but we really don't know what else to do. And I remember a young couple specifically that came in, and I mean, they were like maybe 23.
Mm.
And they're like, we've been together since we were 16 in high school. We live together now, but it's like the same thing. I know when he wants me to turn over. And he was saying, I know what she's about to do. I know when she's about to lose balls or, whatever. And I said, well, have you guys ever role play? And she was like, what do you mean? And for me, in my head, I'm like, isn't role play like pretty self-explanatory? And they had no clue what exactly it was I was talking about. So I explained the whole scenario to them, and I said, be a different person for that day. You're not today. You're not Tanisha. Today you're Linda. Today you're not Michael. Today you can be David or something like that. Go to a bar. Find a bar that you guys like. One of you go there first. The other one comes second. Hit on your partner like you don't know them. Use that different name. Take them home like as if they've never been there before.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you want to take it up a notch, rent a hotel room and take that person to a hotel and experience a whole kind of quote unquote one night stand with this person, but really get into the role play. And he was like, I think I'm gonna laugh the whole time.
So laugh, baby.
That's fine.
So laugh, baby. But let's do the role play while you
Yeah.
laughing.
Yeah.
Yo.
I said, you can laugh. That's fine. But I'm telling you, I said, I guarantee you, after you're finished laughing, like you're laughing during, but as long as you stay focused and stay in your role, don't deviate from it at all. Stay in your role, stay being that different person. It will take things up a notch.
Mm-hmm.
And they tried it. They came back like a month later, like, oh my God. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? And they, it's those that's what I live for. Like the reaction, the positive affirmations that come from that just makes me feel so good that I've helped a couple have better relations with one another just by something as simple as role play.
Right,
So
right. And it is simple. Honestly, role play is simple. I've engaged in role play. That's how I started with when I buy lingerie, I buy the costumes. That's when I started doing a little
mhm.
bit of that. Um, one of the things I would love to do, and I did this 2 or 3 times. I used to love to go see burlesque because
Yes, I love burlesque. I
yes,
love we had burlesque dancers at our last
I
show.
know.
Where were you?
I'm on my eyes for the next one because I will go wherever you need me to see it again. My burlesque, I am a fan of it, and actually with the last person I was with, we did a lot of the burlesque, and the reason why I loved doing the burlesque, for one, I don't know if I probably never even told the man this, but I noticed it, the enjoyment in his eyes when he would see the burlesque. It was enjoyable. So I
Hmm.
kind of picked up on that. And then I enjoyed it. But for me, it put me in a different space. I
Hmm.
enjoyed very much so bringing out the new, like a new lingerie piece to wear after the show. I would sometimes not wear underwears when we would go see the show. I
Hmm.
mean, it put me in a different headspace. And I love the burlesque for that reason because while I do not have the balls to get on a stage and tassel my titties around, right? And I got big titties, so I mean they do a little something, but the whole
Hmm.
tassels I have not gotten you know together yet. Um, it was it was so enticing to just watch that, to watch these women, to watch some of these men come out too and perform. It just
Hmm.
put me in such a different space, and that's where I
Yeah.
got into the whole lingerie wearing, and that's when I would and I don't know if I don't know if I would ever have that conversation on the show, this particular conversation, but I don't know if that person ever noticed I would change certain things that I would say while we would have sex. Like there were
Hmm.
certain things I would say and it was because I was in an element at that moment. So role playing, I'm very big on role playing. Very big on
Yes.
it. And I encourage, especially I love the example that you give, a whole relationship of 16 plus years. I have plenty of friends and family who have been with their partners for that long. Praise
Hmm.
them because I don't know how they do that. I'm scared to even get into another relationship as it is, right?
Hmm.
And I feel like because of how long you've been with a person, it is important to be very truthful to one another and say, all right, babe, this is getting a little boring. Like, let's try something else. Or let's try something a little different. Or let's do this or
Hmm.
let's do that. Because listen, we're all human. We're all fucking
Hmm.
human. Like
Yep.
it has to be a really good show on TV for me to commit to you for 20 something seasons and watch every single fucking episode and like it, right? So
Yes.
imagine that in a relationship. Like this gotta be a really good thing we have here for us to commit to 20 something years every single day. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hmm.
there's a lot. There's a lot. But even like a whole production team is behind this shit, right? Every episode gotta be different in its own way, its own unique, its own topic, its own conversation, its own momentum, right? Sometimes you gotta change up the
Hmm.
characters. Sometimes we see one particular character in another form. So if we see
Hmm.
it that way, this is a whole production. This is work. You guys are the CEOs of your marriage, of your union, of your domestic partnership. You producing this whole love story. So when you think of it like that, it's kind of like, all right, so who are we today? Are we the same person we were yesterday? How am I gonna spice it up today? You know what
Right.
I mean? So
Right. Try different wigs, different color hair,
I
you
I
know.
have yet to do that. but I think
Yes.
my person, the next person that gets this
Yes.
swap is going to that just came out, Nick.
I know that's the fuck right.
That just came out. It just comes out so net like that gets this swap. They gonna guess
The next one to get this
swap.
wop gonna get it.
They gonna get some wigs with it too. They're gonna get some wigs with it too. I have yet to incorporate wigs,
Yes.
but I think I've been encouraged to do that. Motivated, I should say,
Yeah.
not encouraged, motivated.
Mm-hmm.
I do have one more question for you. How do you feel about
Mm-hmm.
kink shaming, and how do you feel about toy parties today? Because I know you've done like the passion parties, but like where we are today and the whole concept of kink shaming.
Um, Shaming of any sort, I'm not with, you know. I think there's a certain level of misunderstanding and misinformation for people who claim to be experts at something and then end up either hurting their subjects or just doing a complete disservice to the industry as a whole or the kink as a whole, you know. There's something to be said about someone who says, "Oh yeah, I'm a masseuse." Anybody can rub you down, but are you really a masseuse, or are you just rubbing a person down? You know, um, I'm not with kink shaming at all. I will try and tell people like here's some sources that you can look up if there's something that I don't know, like because a lot of people send me DMs like, what do you think about this, or what do you think about that, or can you provide this, or can you do? And I'm not the person for you, but here are a few resources. Here are a few pages that I know these people are experts. I know these people are professional, and I know these people love what they do and go out of their way to be educated about what it is that they do so that they can bring positive sessions, positive situations, positive, um, pretty much everything to what it is that they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it's like, eh,
Mm-hmm.
there's some, unfortunately, I hate to say, there is some credibility to some people's grievances, but don't shame a person about it. Like, try and have a conversation and find out why they're doing what it is that they're doing. And if you can, like, just help them somewhat.
Right, right. I agree with you. And I just feel it's because a lot of people they may not even do it intentional. They just don't even understand it. Or like I said from the very beginning of the show, they just don't even accept it. They don't know how to
Mhm.
accept it or how to embrace
Mhm.
it. Or they might be scared to even
Mhm.
open that door of a little bit of a kink. And that's
Right.
why I wanted to have this conversation because I cannot tell you I know all my listeners personally. I know
Mhm.
some. And I do hope that if it helps anyone out, and this is going to be a perfect segue into the last segment of the episode, is that it helps them with whatever partner that they have, or even with themselves, to be
Mhm.
honest with themselves and be honest of what they love and what they like and how they like it. How is
Right.
huge. How is
Right.
huge. And I will dive into why the how is huge, but how is very huge.
Yes.
One last moment in this segment of As Raw as It Gets. Is there any the best advice you can give for anyone, singles or even couples, when it comes to exploring their playtime for the first time? I know you shared with us a little story about a couple in the store, which is great. Thank you for that. But what is your best advice for the first time, or even an actual toy recommendation for the first time?
Um, I try to tell the ladies that their partners are men. Try and find a toy that won't be intimidating to them. Especially for the men that are not 100% comfortable with sex toys just yet. So, what you don't want to do is bring a toy in the bedroom that looks like a dick
Mm,
because they're going to constantly compare themselves. They're going to compare their dick with the dick you just bought. So, you want to bring like a small bullet, a small vibrator, something that just simply does not look anything, doesn't shape any way like a dick. And this toy can be interchangeable. So if you have like a small bullet, a long small bullet, He can use that bullet on you. He can use it on your clitoris. He can use it on your nipples. He can use it on your asshole. He can use it, anywhere. But you can also use it on him as well. You can use it up and down his shaft. You can circle the head of his dick with it. You can rub it around his balls and all of those things. You use a little lube with. Don't just go on some dry skin, or it's gonna be like skipping like tires. So, you wanna, or like a basketball court. You know how your sneakers be like like the basketball court. So take a little lube, take that same bullet, rub it up and down his shaft, see how he reacts to it. So a bullet or a very, very small vibrator is a perfect first toy for couples to use that I think both parties would be very, very comfortable with. And as far as the pleasure parties, because I didn't answer that question, I apologize. The pleasure parties, I say that if you decide to have a pleasure party with a provider, if it's not us, investigate who you're having this party with. Make sure, or depending on what your needs are, some pleasure party hosts are looking to have you join their company. Kind of like that pyramid scheme type of.
I know.
So depending on what your needs are, if that's what you're looking for, and then they want to take order forms and have you order things and you get them later, find out if they're bringing items to the party that people can purchase right then and there, find out if you have to go to the store to pick up, just really investigate the person that, you're having the pleasure party with, and don't be afraid to ask them questions. If the person that you're trying to plan the party with is getting snippy with you about the questions that you're asking, or is offended, kind of not answering the question, taking too long to answer your question, things like that, and you're getting a bad feeling about that person, don't have the party with them. They're not the right person to have a party with, because if the customer service is bad just on one-on-one, it's not going to get any better in a group setting.
Amen to that. Thank you, Nick, to those tips. So shout out to my first bullet. I just want to give a shout out to my first bullet. It was silver. It had a long ass purple cord with a purple little remote attached to it. It was a tiny little thing like this, tiny little thing. And that was actually the first toy I ever introduced. And nobody got intimidated then. So shout out to that advice. Shout out to my first bullet. So that's amazing advice. Thank you so much, Nick, for that.
Sure.
I think, first of all, I think that if I do another pleasure party, we're about to go to Philly for this shit. I'm just saying. Because I think I'm due for another party like this. All right. We're going to go into my last segment, and that is the double or nothing segment. And this is usually where I or my guest could go on a rant, and we keep it raw on another dose. And during this session, we just got to get some shit off our chest. And so this is going to be called the timeout corner. We just had playtime. And so we're on timeout now. And there is something that I want to keep raw, but rant about it. And if you guys remember, I mentioned it before. I said, there's a little story I have. And it's about men and toys. And I've never quite shared in deep dive this story, but I'm gonna do it today with Nick, because it's the least I could do after she sent me the satisfier. So okay, so some episodes ago I had shared that there was a situation I was in, and I felt, or I discovered, that I was August Alsina in the story. Okay, but not because I fell in love. I was not in love at all. I wasn't. The person was in a relationship. I was the other woman, right? And by the time I figured out I was the other woman, we were just too deep into it. We were just too deep in. No way from. I'm not gonna say I wanted to get out of it. I didn't. But I was the August in the story, in the sense like, fuck, I was that other person. Again, I was not in love. In fact, guys, I will be very honest. I knew exactly what position I was in. But when the man said that they had certain feelings towards me, I didn't end things. I just blocked him off of everything. I never ended things the right way. I ghosted this person and I blocked them off of everything. Now, with that being said, Open mentality. Open mentality. The word mentality with the MEN in capital letters. I said before, I still find it that a lot of men who are not open to having any toys or accessories or part of their bedroom sexcapades are a bit of a problem. But here's the bigger problem to me. When there are men who want to have toys in the bedroom, but they don't know how to tell their significant other that they want toys in the bedroom. So with that person that I was August with, he wouldn't use any toys with his partner, with his significant other, because his significant other was entirely against toys. Now, this person was much younger than him, right? I was a little closer to his age. And I was obviously very open-minded. I was obviously very open-minded to the toys. I was obviously very open-minded to trying things, mostly on me. And then finally one day, he says for me to try a toy on him. And it was my first pegging experience.
This sounds like my kind of party.
Yes, Nick. So here's what I will say, okay? I want to get this off my chest, right? I'm going to do that Birdman right now with you, okay?
I got the Birdman hand rub going on right now.
Yes. Here's what I will say. I have not at all, in no way, shape, or form, till this day, ever said, oh, he must have been gay. No. That is never my mental. I'm never going to say that about this man, or any man for that matter, who we may or may not have had any type of anal fun, okay? But the reason why I wanted to rant about this is because here's the reason why I wish men were more honest with themselves and more honest with their partners about the things that they like and what they enjoy. Because I feel strongly, and I will never dog this man out, certainly wouldn't dog out his partner. I'm just saying, she was not into this shit. She wasn't. He used to hide his toys. He used to hide it. He brought toys. He used to hide his toys. They were not in a suitcase. It was like in this weird shit. It looked like a fucking treasure chest. And he used to hide it. He used to hide his toys. And I would bring my own fucking toys, right? Just in case. And whenever he used to bring out his shit, you bet your ass I would take them and fucking clean them up, because just in case, and I would do whatever I needed to do. But his level of excitement to be able to use toys was like a little kid at a candy store getting the lollipop he wanted. Okay. The fact that he was just so open with me, I knew he had no way to be that free or that open at home. Okay. The fact that for him it was so huge for me to say, yes, let's try this. Yes, we could do this. Yes, I want you to try that on me. Yes, this, yes, that. He got all the yeses from me, and he was never getting that from her. And so I'm not saying this to say, oh, this is why men cheat. No, fuck that. I'm not saying that at all. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it because this is just a small little portion of what was going on between he and I. It was just a level of where he was not comfortable at all to have that type of freedom with her, to have that type of freedom in his home. And it sort of kind of, in a way, pisses me off, because this doesn't just happen with men. Obviously, in my case, I knew of this because my sexual preference is a man, right? But it happens with women too. They are not able to say, I want to try this toy, when their husband or their partner or whatever the case may be says, no, you can't, because my dick is enough. And I'm actually, let me say when they're husbands, because the majority of the time I see women struggle with this is when they have a husband. Let me say that, okay? When they have a husband is the majority of the time that I see this being a problem. Tell me, how do you feel about this? Am I crazy? Am I the only one that sees this? Like, what? Talk to me. Tell me something here.
You're not crazy. You're not crazy. You know, I know maybe 75% of Philadelphia's secrets. I know I know the married men that buy toys for their wives and buy toys for their mistresses, you know. Whenever they buy things for me, they say, give me two.
Right.
You know, because but it's not an uncommon thing. There are women that when the very minimum, when they're trying to stimulate their clitoris with their hand and they're with their partner, that the guy smacks their hand away and says, I got this.
What the fuck?
That's a very common occurrence for the ladies, where they're like, I got this, I'm enough, I got this. And you're not. Like, women's bodies are so complex that some men they just don't get it, and men are, and it's unfortunate, but I'll say Black men are the most harshly judged men in the world when it comes to sex. Since we're talking about sex, I don't want to talk politics right now. No. We're gonna just talk about sex.
Nick is giving us a safe space right now, y'all, because she's entitled to do whatever she wants on this rant if she wanted to, but she's giving us safe space. All right.
Black men, they're so harshly judged that they're scared to test the waters for other sexual kinks, other things that will bring them pleasure. Prostate stimulation is a huge thing. Being pegged is a huge thing. And a lot of men that talk to me know that I am a safe, non-judgmental person, that if they want to get pegged, they can get pegged. If they want to just have prostate stimulation in some way, shape, or form, that I'm with it. I'm with all the shits. Right. And it's easy for them to talk to me because of the industry that I'm in, because of what it is that I do. But for other women, they can't have these conversations because they're so scared of being judged. They're so scared of being labeled as gay or, other derogatory terms, you know what I mean? And they don't want to deal with that judgment, so they suppress what it is that they want, and then they're going out other places that might not be safe for them to have these experiences, and then they wind up hurting themselves, so forth and so on. But it's very, very unfortunate, and I just encourage anyone to have the conversation with whoever it is that you're fucking with and be completely honest about what it is that you like. If your partner or whoever you're dealing with doesn't like the things that you like, then maybe that's not the person for you. But there's someone out there for you that's going to like the same things that you like, that's not going to judge you for the things that you like, and that person is more your speed. Right. Don't be afraid of losing someone or someone not being in your life because they don't like the same things that you like. Like, not everybody likes chocolate cake.
Right. No, you're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I say that to say because so for one, for any of Nick's friends that like these type of activities, who Nick has retired you, y'all know where to find me. I'm just saying. Notice I said if Nick has retired you, or if you got friends that Nick has not yet initiated, y'all can slide into my DMs. I'm just saying. But I agree with you in the sense, specifically in the sense that I do feel that men do worry about being shamed because it is still happening. It happens constantly. So with this particular man, I call him the Greek. He in his culture, in his beliefs, like, you're supposed to be strictly macho. So you're not supposed to at all whatsoever ever be involved with any of these type of things. Right. And the macho mentality, the mentality I don't favor towards, of you don't need nothing else. To be honest with you, I've dated Hispanic men, but the only one that was open-minded was my ex-husband. So, which is where I learned the open-mindedness. A lot of the machismo shit, I see it in my own culture, and so that's not what I favor it. I've been able to have a lot of more freedom with when I've had my relationships with Black men. And I am the type of woman with whom it is a safe space to say what you like. We could try it. I'm down for it. The whole 9 yards. But it pisses me off when I do see the moment a man, and to your point, and to what we obviously see in this world, a slight vulnerability from a black man to even in his sexuality is a problem and is scrutinized. And so
Yep.
I wanted to rant about this because I think where we are today in 2020, and don't get me wrong, it's been a fucked up 2020 in a lot of different ways.
Oh yeah.
It's been a fucked up 2020, but I do think that we are in a place where we should be able to talk about shit. We're in a place where we should be able to say what works for us and what doesn't work for us.
Right.
We are in a place where if a man does like to get pegged, to your point, because of prostate stimulation, it's not because he's automatically gay. That's not what
Right.
the fuck it is. And I'm very particular with this because of my experience. Because I, in the end, like I said, and I'll admit, I did ghost this gentleman because he caught feelings and it was just never supposed to happen. And I just did not want to deal with it at that moment. I didn't want to do any explaining. I did not want to do any conversation about it or any of it. I just didn't want to deal with it because I just didn't want to. So I did the ghosting, and it's not my proudest fucking moment. Either way, he's not alone. He's with his significant other. Great. But I can't imagine how he felt as a man in his age, for one, in having a partner at home. I can't imagine how he felt when he couldn't be true to himself. And so for me, just in general, when we're dealing with people who just want a little kink in their life, just want a little spice in their life, just want a little extra toy in the bedroom, y'all just be receptive to it, be open-minded to it, just hear them out. Especially when you have a partner, especially when you've been with your partner for so long. Was it weird at first for me? Yes, for me.
Yeah.
To do it was. I didn't even come prepared for this shit. I never Googled this shit. I was like, oh my God, I hope I don't hurt this man. But it was fun. It was fun after a while. It was fun that one time to initially do it was intense, and then it just felt comfortable. And then I just saw the way he enjoyed it. And that's where I go back to the how. It's to the how you welcome these things.
Right.
If you have a partner, just be open-minded. Have these very raw conversations with your significant other about everything and anything. And going to the first song, I tried to sing to y'all and Nick guessed. Things could happen everywhere and anywhere with anything involved, but just have that conversation.
Don't be scared to have those conversations. Like here's the thing, like the rule of thumb for just everything in life for me is not what you say, is how you say it. When it's so many people that are fucking, they're quick to jump into the act and not so quick to actually talk about the act. So be mindful, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And any act between a man and a woman doesn't make that man gay. Pegging that man does not make that man gay. That is a sexual act between a man and a woman. He is not gay. He likes to be pegged by a woman. Period.
Exactly.
Period. And pegging, I'm pretty sure you can attest, when the same with me. The first time I actually did it, it was awkward. Like, okay, am I doing this right? All of the things I've read, all of the illustrations that I've studied, you know what I mean? Like, is this right? Like, where is his P spot? I got to make sure I hit the curve right. And then you get a newfound respect for men when they're stroking. Like, it takes a lot on your back. You have a new
you ain't lying, Nick.
You have a newfound respect for guys going long, for the men that have the stamina. Like, y'all got some really, really strong backs, because it's not an easy task.
It's not. No, it's not.
It's not easy.
It's not easy at all. But here's the thing.
Right.
The same way I like to suck dick and make sure I do a great job at it is the same way if you ask me to do this, I'm going to make sure I do a good fucking job at this too. I'm not going to fuck up. I can't. Listen, till this day, and I don't know if there's a Yelp for sex, but till this day, I have not gotten a bad Yelp review. Okay, so no, Nick.
Pussy Yelp, WAP Yelp,
WAP Yelp. I was called Super Pussy for a reason. But I appreciate you for saying that too, because again, it's just important, and I think that the more we talk about it, the more maybe at some point in life and someday, and even for people who probably might feel like that, this doesn't pertain to me because I don't like that. at all, or that's not me, or that's not him, or that's not her. Maybe that is today. A year from now,
Mm-hmm.
that might be a totally different story. You never know.
Right.
You never know. And especially for my singles, and I'm going to say my singles because I am currently single. In the dating pool, and listen, let's put COVID to the side. When dating, these are the type of fucking conversations you should also be having along when you're dating
Mm-hmm.
with a purpose. So you do want to know, are you I'm from New York City. Are we going to live here? Are we going to move? What's your salary like? Well, what do you
Mm-hmm.
do? What's your job? Do you own a business? Oh, you own a business? Well, this is what I like. This is what I do. You have to talk
Mm-hmm.
about all these things, but even this point, this part of the conversation is important too. It's important to be
Yeah.
very transparent of that and very upfront, and don't fucking lie. Don't lie about shit. Because you know what? If a lot of people do have a problem with anything in this world, is about the lie or the secret and the hidden shit.
Mm-hmm.
The more you hide it, the more a person feels betrayed. Fuck it,
Right.
if the shoe fits, the shoe fits, and if they get offended or they feel some type of way in the beginning and hearing a news about you or you delivering some truth about yourself, cool.
Right.
But then you have the option to have a conversation about it. If you lie about some shit, there's no option or conversation about nothing, and people feel completely like blindsided about shit once they
Mm-hmm.
find out. So just don't lie about it. Have a conversation. Be very open minded about things.
Right.
Any last words for my listeners or for me, Nick? Anything at all?
Thank you for being you. Thank you for having your platform, creating a platform where people can be open and honest and have these discussions and keep up the good
Oh,
work.
thank you, Nick. And thank you once again for your customer service. Saved my life. And
You're
she about
welcome.
to save my life again because once we stop recording, she's going to send me a picture of that new little item she got. I am excited that you came on the show. I am forever grateful for you. I know at some point, the more merchandise and products that you have, and we're probably going to open up another can of worms with this, you will come on the show again because I'm going to pitch to you again to come on the show. um,
I would love to. And hopefully, my mom, my partner, she'll be able to join us too at
Oh,
that
I
time.
would love that. Listen, let me tell you something. I know, not just because she's your mom. I know
Mm-hmm.
she probably has some secrets there too, and some words of wisdom that these listeners could use too. So I would love to have her on this show as well. Y'all,
Yes.
I am forever grateful to Nick. I will tag her contact information on IG, her tags, and Erotic Boudoir's tags as well. So you guys can go follow, check out their products, check out their customer service. I cannot stop raving about that because, again, I'm all about the customer service and they were exceptional. Again, thank you so much. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Y'all, this has been another week of Double Dose of Raw Talk. I am your host, Misty, and you guys will tune in next week. Bye. Thank you for joining me on this week's episode on Double Dose of Raw Talk Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. And when you leave the review, tell your friends and then tell your friends to tell their friends. Nothing makes me happier than to read the reviews that you guys are leaving and the feedback I am receiving from my listeners, and trust that I am reading those reviews and I am reading those suggestions and I am listening. Contact me on my social media pages and the show's email. All my information is in the show description. Nothing would make me happier than to hear from you guys and to know what it is that you would love from my platform to cover on some raw talk. So let's talk about it. Bye.